All right. Hello. Welcome back again. Welcome back. Welcome back again with yours truly, the counselor, Mr. James Horton. Hello. So glad to be doing this again with you. All right. This evening's class is going to be a class called Domestic Comparison. And try to open it up before we get into the paper. But before we open it up, I would like to invite you all to tap into my channel, Domestic Violence with the Counselor, Mr. James Horton, on YouTube. Domestic Violence with the Counselor, me, Mr. James Horton, on YouTube, my television channel. All right, and you're gonna get a whole lot from it. I promise you. I will not let you down. It's gonna help you in ways you wouldn't even imagine you can get. You know. And most likely from a person who looks like myself. But I suggest you tap in. You know, everybody needs some healing. We're still going through what we're going through with our world changes, and we don't know what to expect, but we need to find a way to keep going and keep riding forward. And I suggest you use me as one of those tools to get you through. All right? So this paper is called Domestic Comparison. And in life, we have so many areas where we find ourselves comparing ourselves to others. We find ourselves in a race running to get to the finish line and beat someone else to the finish line because we're comparing ourselves. We are comparing ourselves in ways, which can create even enviness and jealousy and spitefulness towards others because we're continually comparing ourselves to someone else. But this paper is more based on comparing ourselves in relationships, comparing something to relationships, comparing who we were once with who we're with now. And we find ourselves comparing ourselves. And many times we find ourselves feeling less than when we get into an area of comparing ourselves. I always suggest to people to draw a circle around yourself and work on everything inside your circle, not on everything inside someone else's circle, not on everything inside your partner's circle, but your circle, right? And it takes some boldness to do that, to say, hey, what can I do to make me better? What can I do to make my legs stronger, my arms stronger, my thinking more clear? What can I do? And so when you get into the process of that, you'll begin to find things to work on, right? Oh, it's a lot of stuff to work on, but you got to stand in the mirror. You got to look yourself over. All right, now we're going to get into the paper. It says, domestic comparison. It says, what? Okay, wait a minute. Excuse me for a second. Let me put my glasses on to get a clearer shot at this. It says, domestic comparison. What is and what are domestic comparisons, and how are they described and defined? Domestic comparison is the compatibility, correlation, likeness, resemblance, and similarity we sometimes bring to new relationships. Domestic comparison can make or break a relationship. Domestic comparisons can remind us of many past relationships, some good and some bad, forcing some of us to seek out and attempt to rekindle many of those old, retired relationships, especially when it comes to meeting someone new. All right? Ask yourself questions. It says, number one, when choosing relationship partners, are you known to choose partners who look and act like a relationship partner you were once known to be with in your past? When choosing relationship partners, are you known to choose partners who look and act like relationship partners who you were once known to be with in your past? I mean, some of us are going to places even to find that somebody that reminds us of that somebody, right? We might say, I'm gonna go to the old school Screaming Eagle, right? I'm gonna go to the old school Lucky Lion because that's where I met that chick that I was so wrapped up around, right? Now I know she gone, moved away to another state, married to somebody, and I'll probably never see her again, or you probably never see her again. But you can find yourself going back to even old spots trying to find her, or somebody like her, somebody shaped like her, somebody who act like her, right? That kind of her stuff, or that kind of him stuff, same old dude. Even if he was, not a shabby person or something. Wasn't his upkeep wasn't all that, but he was your kind though, your type, right? And we can do that, right? We can do that, right? Instead of just trying to create something new in our life, we go back to the old many times, cheating our future with our past. Because if it was as good as it was, why are we looking for something to match it, right? Okay, number 2. In most, some, or all of your relationships you get in, are you known to compare in most, some, or all of the relationships you get in, are you known to compare your past relationships with your present relationships? Are you known to compare them or compare your new partners with your past partners? Are you known to say this is where they measure up at, right? If they do what this person did, if they clean house like this person did, then I feel, or you feel, that you have found that somebody, that special something, right? That's missing, right? That missing piece, right? We tweak ourselves out like that many times, right? Measuring up. Oh, okay. And you might have some good. And just because they don't measure up in the exact same way that you believe your past measured up, when you compare your present with your past, doesn't mean you ain't got somebody good, right? So many times, many of us fail because we're always comparing, right? And I want you to think about that during this lesson, right? And even afterwards, when you process, all right? Number 3, have you ever been known to sabotage and force the end to a relationship by using domestic comparisons, meaning comparing your partner to other people outside of your relationship? Have you ever been known to sabotage and force the end to a relationship by using domestic comparisons, meaning comparing your partner to other people outside of your relationships? It don't even have to be somebody you've been with. It can be that you've been looking at one of your friends' partners. You've been comparing your relationship to a relationship friend of yours and that's in a relationship with someone else. You're saying that because your boo or your partner doesn't have a job like your friend's partner, that you ain't getting what you're supposed to be getting. You ain't satisfied with what you got because you find yourself comparing yourself and your relationship self with somebody else's relationship selves, right? And it jacks everything up, right? Everybody's unique in their own ways. You don't have to be like other people. Find what fits you. Find what feels good to you, right? Don't worry about what it looks like to them, right? Stop doing that, all right? Number 4, do you denigrate, depreciate, or downgrade your partner by using the domestic comparison in your relationships, right? I mean, do you denigrate and depreciate? Do you say, ooh, you ain't doing like Fred and them, right? Do you say, you ain't nothing like Dee Dee and Barbara and them, you know what I'm saying? Because they got their thing together, You don't even, do you do that kind of stuff, right? To bring them down, because that's what's going on in your head. You haven't let go of your past, so you're bringing your past to your present, right? Do you do that? Is that one of your issues, man? Sister, brother, what? I hope not. All right, number 5. Are you known to, and do you allow the person you're in a relationship with to perform domestic comparison on you And do you also compare yourself to your partner's ex-partners that they are no longer with, right? I mean, like, do you let them hit you, brother, right, or sister? Do you let them hit you with that? And are you hitting yourself with that? Because sometimes unconsciously, even if they're not doing it, we're doing it, right? We're doing it. We get in relationships and we ask questions. We go, so what did he do for you? What did she do to it? What kind of stuff did y'all do? Did y'all travel and all that? And you find yourself beating yourself down because right now you don't have traveling money. You don't have the will to even travel if you had the money. But yet you be like really mad about the stories that you hear of you've heard from your new partner, right? You won't let their past go, right? You've grabbed a hold of it and you tweaking yourself out, beating yourself up and beating your partner up with all that crap, right? You can make something brand new happen. You don't even have to compare it to the notes you've taken from your partner about their past relationships, right? You can be original, right? Just be you and be happy with you and bring you to the relationship and stop bringing them back to the relationship, all right? All right. Number 5. Are you known and do you allow the person, okay, number 6, excuse me. In most of your relationships, are you known to compare your woman or partner to in most of your relationships, are you known to compare your woman or partner to others and cheat and cause yourself defeat by disrespecting one of God's gifts and treats? Are you known to do that? Are you known to do that, man? Number 7. Did you know domestic comparisons in and within the process of maintaining a good, wholesome, and healthy relationship with your boo, spouse, significant other, or friend is when you start becoming new, falling short, and lane switching with your partner. When you start to bad-mouthing, blaming, castrating them, when you are telling them they are not like your ex or nothing like your ex relationship, right? You know, that's when you become unhealthy in your domestic comparison process. You know, those are examples of you ain't nothing. You know, you guys hear that? You ain't nothing like, ugh, I should still be with her. You be like, I should still be with Fred. I should still be with Sharon. You know, because Sharon would never do that. You said, when I used to come home from work, Sharon always had my food on the table. You know, Sharon ain't here. You know, you screaming Sharon like, you know, you a million miles away, but you keep screaming Sharon in the household like she gonna hear you and show up, right? And have your food on the table, you know? I mean, hey, man, if that's what you wanted, you should have read the resume before you got in a relationship. That's all I can say, you know? And if Sharon ain't cooking, why don't you cook, right? I mean, if your boo ain't cooking, you become the cook. You don't have to be in the same role, in the same comparison you was in the last relationship. Become brand new and be you, right? Number 8, we're gonna close this out. When and as you think about domestic comparison in your life, true or false? Are you addicted to beating all of your relationship? Are you addicted to beating all of your relationship partners and catching 52 weeks of domestic violence classes because you are comparing all of your relationship partners to the first relationship partner that may have hurt you, right? Again, when and as you think about domestic comparison in your life, true or false? Are you addicted to beating all of your relationship partners and catching 52 weeks of domestic violence classes because you're comparing all of your relationship partner to your first relationship partner who may have hurt you, right? Now, that happens, right? You're so untrusting, right? Because, yes, he cheated on you. Yes, she may have cheated on you and they got busted, right? But that doesn't mean that every time you meet somebody, they gonna cheat on you. That doesn't mean that every time someone hurts you or you feel the hurt from your past that you need to start putting your hands on somebody. That ain't what time it is. That always shows weakness. When you lose your cool and you start throwing plants, when you lose your cool and start putting your hands on somebody, brother, it doesn't make you a man. No, it makes you a marshmallow. It makes you soft, right? Because soft people like lose their cool like that. Because you got too many options, right? You got an option to leave. You got an option to disconnect from the relationship. You don't have to sit there and be like some little child out of your mind. You done lost your head and now you're choking somebody out. No, you ain't got to do that. And sister, you ain't got to do it either because it's not ladylike. Women don't act like that. Little girls act like that. Women don't act like that. Right? And so you think, oh yeah, he gonna keep coming back because he likes some of this, he likes some of that. It ain't even about the sex thing, right? No, if your most valuable asset to your whole program system is sex, and if you think a man's most valuable asset is sex, that you're falling short. You don't even have the milk of the relationship. You don't have the heart. You don't have the mind connected. You don't have anything, right? You don't even know how to read a road map because you're dependent on the contact of sex. So if that's your thing, don't do that. Don't get caught up in that domestic comparison kind of thing, right? Because hey, eventually some of that gonna fall off. But hopefully you got some real love that will never fall off. To death do you part. You can go on and get you that married piece, right? All right, that's going to be it for yours truly, the counselor, Mr. James Horton. Again, we just got through doing domestic comparison. Again, one more time, check out my site, Domestic Violence with the Counselor, Mr. James Horton, on YouTube. Thank you.